So we left off last time with the emergence of Cain coming into the elevator, taking both of his muscled, rune-covered hands and just opening with force these elevator doors and thrusting Luca back to the other side. But we will first start with our prompt for this session, which I'm going to ask each of you. What is your character's biggest fear? So, I will first start with Remy. What is Remy's biggest fear?
Would you want to put this in context of pre-nuclear warhead Georgia, or do you want to do it post-nuclear warhead Georgia?
I'll say currently, so post.
Okay. I think his biggest fear is not finding a place in current society. Like, he was just started to find a home in Babylon, and suddenly now everything's changed. So he's like, there's not really a need for psychiatry as he sees it, just because everyone is just kind of in a constant state of panic and shock. So there's no system to try to rebuild or like stability to provide anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good fear, because it's like, how do you reintegrate into the society that's totally different than the one you left it?
Yep.
All right. Now we'll go to Thaddeus. What is Thaddeus's greatest fear at the moment?
I think his greatest fear is the potential scenario where he can't handle the truth of reality, where he finally gets like everything he's been searching for, and the truth is just so horrific and twisted, or that he would like fail, like leading in his pursuit, like just right before, like just leading up just to the cusp, and only to fail. I think that would be his ultimate failure right now, just after coming so far. Just wants to see the success and get some closure, and he doesn't want to stop until he gets that. But yeah, that'd be his fear and insecurities right now.
Okay. And let's hear from Benji. What is Benji's biggest fear?
Benji's biggest fear is the absolute horrific might of the U.S. military.
Currently or pre-apocalypse?
Yeah.
I don't know what they're up to now, but I can't imagine they didn't participate in creating the apocalypse.
Interesting.
That's too funny. Interesting and on brand.
What about their might scares him?
Like, he was privy to so many like things.
Oh, that makes sense with your background. Okay.
Yeah, like he knows some of the things that they've gotten away with in the past, and he knows that there's so much more that he doesn't know that they've done, because they're good at hiding it. Like, nobody's ever heard of the missions that he's been on. So he's well aware that there are people who did very similar, probably worse missions all over the whole world.
Oh yeah.
And probably haven't stopped. Probably are only doing worse things now that the world is so messed up they can get away with kind of whatever they like.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very it's a very valid fear to have, even in the times of the apocalypse. You know, you guys don't really know what happened to a lot of those organized factions that existed pre-2018 when things went down. So maybe they do exist in some messed up form or fashion since. All right, why don't we hear from Luca? What is Luca's biggest fear?
Well, even before the apocalypse, Luca never really had that many like deep connections with anybody on a personal level, and even those she's made peace with, because unlike the rest of the party, she's had these years to come to terms with them. I guess her focus has always more so been on like her own efforts and like showing the world what she's capable of. So I think it would be pretty obvious that her biggest fear would be, you know, failing after how hard she's tried to prove herself as a capable individual, and to just, you know, like push everybody out of this shit. Like she's been kind of forced into a more of a leadership role than she would have ever expected, and failing at this point would be devastating.
Yeah, after all the use of resources, after all the loss of life thus far, success is hinging on you guys for this neck of the journey. And why don't we hear from Nicholas? What's Nicholas's biggest fear?
I think it's kind of similar to Luca and Thad, but in the sense is like it goes twofold, because one, failing, like his failure is like dying, because his number one priority is now getting back to his family. But on the flip side, Ryan kind of reminded me that yeah, we were gone for a good amount of time, yeah, in that weird pocket
5
dimension.
years, right?
Yeah, so I think it's either him dying, but also the fear that his family's just gone. So he wants to figure that out. So
I forget.
Probably
Did you
that.
get like a tidbit of information that your family was still alive like a while ago, or no?
I don't know. I could say
Like,
that.
did you ask
rings a
someone in
bell.
camp or something? But I'm not. I actually don't remember.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
haven't looked
remember.
into it so far.
Yeah. Yeah. But I would say that.
Okay. All right, and let's go to Kaji last. What's Kaji's biggest fear?
Well, in terms of like, okay, so like he's lost everything already, basically. Like at this point, in terms of, he doesn't really care. But I think his biggest fear at this point, now that he's seen his daughter again, and he knows that the afterlife is a possibility, I think his biggest fear would be dying in such a way that he wouldn't be able to access the afterlife to go with his, to rejoin his family, because like he died once, and he knows this. So he doesn't know the state that his soul's in. He doesn't know if he gets to go to the afterlife after he dies. He's still got like Shinigami on his tail basically, and if they catch him, he doesn't know what's going to happen to his soul or whatever. So I think his main fear right now is that if he were to die, that he wouldn't be able to spend the rest of eternity with his loved ones. So that's what he's most worried about. But also, more in character, he wants to find his car.
That's his
Naturally.
biggest fear. He
Both
has
Both of
to
those
find
can be
it.
in character.
of those-
Jose. You don't have to.
Both of those, it's like 50-50. No, in all
What
seriousness,
would
no.
happen
it's,
if it still existed, but you see it souped up like Mad Max style with a bunch of like spikes and shit on it?
Oh my
What would
god,
happen?
he'd have to roll.
Kaji will end it there.
He'd roll 3 sanity checks, and if they have to be nat 20s, and if he fails any of them, he instantly dies.
Drops to 0 hit
Oh.
points. Instantly killed.
But no, yeah, definitely like his worry about the possibility of him just like not being able to go wherever his family went, basically.
Yeah, it's a very dark thought, but you know, this campaign has definitely gone there. It's explored those metaphysical concepts of like, is there an afterlife? There clearly, you've seen there is a hell, and there seems to be something resembling a heaven, but it also has succumbed to madness and this impossible architecture in this unending city called Metropolis. But who knows? We haven't really seen too much of the spirit world, highways of the dead areas of this universe, so who knows? But we pick up this session immediately where we left off. we see these two muscled hands just prying their ways through this elevator door. We see that face, which I'll show you guys again what he looks like here. This like hulking armored figure that's probably about 7 or 8 feet tall with just this iron mask and just bloodied ancient armor and this huge axe in one of his hands. This is what he looks like.
You tell me that guy killed Abel?
And he seems to speak some unknown language to Luca and throws her against the back wall of the elevator.
Oh, hey, yo.
You see immediately the first thing that happens is Quaid just comes up with he has his primary gun, but he also has a sawed-off. And he comes up and immediately from the side just places the sawed-off on this figure's temple and holds it there and waits for you to get up, Luca, because it looks like there's some sort of interaction going on between you two. And I'll say this, right? Your failed will save indicates that you regard him in the very least as a friend or someone that's not immediately going to kill you.
Okay.
It seems like there's some sort of phase of negotiations that might go on. But in metagame terms, you're going to have to make a choice, right? I hinted at this post-session last time, but he could be a very powerful ally if you aid him like he seems to be hinting towards. Alternatively, this tower seems on the verge of collapse. And like Cain and your invasion of the tower might be causing these demonic forces to be withdrawing back into hell. So alternatively, if you chose to either fight him or flee, you might have already accomplished your goal. So
Let's just book it.
So keep going and face down the hordes of hell and attempt to kill this demon queen for good, with the benefit of perhaps gaining one of the most powerful allies possible in the future, or fleeing with the knowledge that you have completed the victory you initially set out to do.
Wait, what was our initial goal? The base.
Well, there were a couple of ways of accomplishing it, right? Like either to just drive Nahemoth's presence from Unity Tower, or the simplest way to get rid of somebody is to kill them. So either kill her or otherwise get her to go back to hell.
But how have we been driving her out? Because we're breaking the
by
crystals?
destroying these like the crystals.
Okay. How many more do we have?
They're kind of like anchoring hell to our world essentially.
How many more of those do we have?
Just one more, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Which should be up on the 29th floor. We destroyed the ones on the 6th and 13th floors, so just the 29th.
Regarding what Tyler said, if there's no more Unity Tower, she cannot occupy Tower.
That's correct.
Sounds like this thing might be dropping.
Something
Are we blowing up the tower?
something that becomes apparent to you in this moment is like you sort of anticipated, like, if you destroyed these 3 anchors, it will sever her ties to this plane and, hell will be separated from Earth. But what you didn't factor in was the tower might respond. And seeing so much of a threat to its core, which exists at least partially in hell, it's starting to withdraw and defend itself. And in so doing, might sever the tie itself to save the part of its organism that exists in hell.
Is it taking us to hell with it?
You gather that perhaps what lies beyond floor 15 is enemy territory in that regard.
It is already hell.
Yeah,
for
true.
sure.
We're already gonna have our foot in the threshold to hell. So,
Well, I've had my feet in the
I
threshold
mean,
of hell forever.
having this guy as an ally could be useful. And I mean, we've already encountered the spawn of Cain, right? The motorcycle gang that can teleport essentially
yeah.
down the roads, and they're very
Ah,
strong.
Fuck those guys.
Like, if
dude.
we have Cain as an ally, maybe they won't give us any trouble, or better yet, help us in future endeavors as well.
Bro, we're gonna roll up with a biker gang?
So I guess in this moment, Luca puts up like her hand to stop to Quaid, and says, "We might be able to be of use to each other. Stand down for now, Quaid."
He lowers his shotgun. You see from behind Cain emerge 5 figures. You see these figures are as tall as him, as broad as him, but instead of having like a mask of iron and this like brutal appearance, these figures are like the pinnacle of beauty. You see like they have these like chiseled faces, these like muscular bodies, but they're incredibly pale. And obscuring a large part of their face are these like turbans, like they had just crossed some vast desert. This is what Cain's honor guard look like.
Oh, they look badass as fuck.
And you see a lot. Are they covered in the blood and viscera of the demons of this floor that they just slew en masse? But one of them steps forward in this moment, right? Beside Cain, almost entering the precipice of the elevator, but not quite. And he says, "Rejoice, humans. You have been called to serve the great King of Blood in his holy crusade. My lord uses me as his mouthpiece, as he does not favor your chattering tongue. I ask you once, will you break the will of our enemy with us and put the bloody mace in your hands? Or shall we slay you in turn?"
So no, I don't want to die, so I'm all set, you know. He puts his hands up. He knows when he's beat.
Yeah, I'm not gonna challenge the 6 basically demigods. Not
What do you
gonna.
mean? This is the whole point. He's chatting. No, I'm joking. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing anything.
Remy says, "Yeah, I think we're all in agreement here. Friend, not foe."
And you agree with this consensus? He turns to you, Luca.
It would seem so. We'll be allies. We'll slaughter this thing together.
Allies is a word too weighty for chatterlings such as yourselves. You will be vassals of my lord Cain. Nothing more, nothing less.
Do we get cool outfits like you have?
Such is not the attire of chatterlings, I'm afraid. You will serve as our vanguard, to scout ahead for dangers we might encounter in the veins of Cliffa. You have done quite well for yourselves in finding these Frixies and destroying them. Such has sent the Demon Queen into a defensive position. But we are here now to see that our assault does not fail. And you see on one of their belts is held the severed head of Baba Yaga.
Oh shit!
We're
No,
also-
She was helping us.
Yeah.
Didn't know Keanu was in this.
We've also severed the head of the crone and can thusly use it to prophesy our movements.
Bless you.
I think Luca definitely understands a chain of command, so she won't put up too much of a fuss.
Same here.
Okay. This member of the honor guard steps back and he puts out his hand. It's sort of like this metal glove, and he just motions his two fingers upwards. The elevator doors close on themselves and start to move up to floor 15. You gather they're probably going to meet you up there.
Oh, they didn't enter the elevator.
There's not enough room for them.
Oh,
You gather that's not really a problem for these guys. They're probably going to fight their way up the stairs to make it up there. But during this time, the elevator doors close, and the elevator starts to slowly rise to floor 15. What happens in these scant few moments of peace before the storm?
I think Remy is nervously playing with his pocket knife, just like opening and closing it. But I don't know if he's doing anything else like important. He's just like very nervous.
if Kaji's got any cigarettes left, he lights one up. I don't know if he has any though.
He does.
He does. All right. Yeah.
We didn't level up at all, right? Last session.
No.
Nope.
Yeah, we're all 8, Ryan. You should still be
8?
8.
8. Oh, come on.
That's a good one.
Eight?
Player along with it, Ryan thinking he missed like 5 level ups.
Oh.
I think Luca definitely does the just kind of like bullet check, like releases the magazine of
Ammo check.
of her rifle, just
That's
to
kinda
like
sick.
check to see if she still has bullets in there. Very, very militaristic in nature.
Yeah, and in this moment, Quaid comes up to you and he's like, "The fuck did he mean, vassals? Are we fighting for him now? We're not fighting for you?"
Just let them think that. They play by different rules than you and me. For now, they're on our side, and I guess we can use whoever we can to get this done.
Alright. I don't like it, but I'll play along for now.
Wade, is it? I don't know if you realize, but we're in sort of a supernatural tower right now, and those
Oh,
6
what?
folks we did. the
We're
6 folks-
where?
is he not seeing through the veil? I thought he does. No.
You're not really yeah, it seems like Quaid does. You're not really sure what the men think, like what they see per se in these kind of interactions, but like you gather they
I was assuming like Quaid does, so that's
Yeah.
why I was speaking to Quaid like that.
Yeah, Quaid
Quaid, I
does.
don't know if you recognize the situation, but this is not a normal tower.
and those folks we just met were not normal. So if we have to go along with what they say for a little bit, I think that increases our odds of survival just a hair.
I'm not so ready to cleave to whatever power we encounter in here as you.
I think Remy just kind of like thinks to himself,
Kaji,
like, "Holy shit, does he like the world literally ended
He's-
5 years ago because there's some supernatural battle, and
he's so s-
Quaid's here just like I can take him." like what's going on? Remy backs off. He's like,
I could
"More
just
power to
imagine.
you, man."
I could just imagine Remy turning at us like, is he stupid?
That's the vibe you get from Remy. He's like, you see him go like, "What the fuck?" Oh, also, off note, look at this cross section of this burrito.
That's hot.
Anyway,
Damn.
sorry.
That had sex with you.
It was a California burrito. Anyway, yeah. So Remy just kind of backs off at that point and was like, "Okay, I'm not gonna pursue that anymore. That's a lost cause right there."
Yeah. It seems like, you know, you're not going to convince him really of your side. He's in a weird place where he, like, understands part of what's happening, but maybe not the full threat.
He's having delusions of grandeur.
The biggest delusion of grandeur.
The
I'm just
the
gonna go fight
Dunning-Kruger
some-
effect.
Oh no.
Wow, you have no idea. Order Chipotle because that burrito. Damn me right.
But yeah, he just starts loading some shotgun shells and just getting ready for the 15th floor. And at this point, Mika is getting very agitated.
Yep. Wait, is the breaking turning point the 15th floor? Or is that the 13th floor?
It's the 15th.
It's the 15th floor.
Yeah, let me move you guys up on the map here.
Like she's getting visibly agitated.
Yeah, she just looks upset. She's like,
What's the matter?
Daddy, I don't want to lose you. Not again. Not after all I've done to get you back.
Think of it this way. If I do die, I'll get to see you and Mom.
She goes silent for a second. I might come with you. I want to stay with you. I don't want to have you leave me.
You do realize the danger that lurks on the upper floors, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't want the same thing.
But this is part of your choice, Daddy. You have to choose. I can stay with you, but if I don't, you might not see me again.
Well, okay. Here's the thing, right? She's already dead. So unless like, okay, she's already dead. There's really no point in leaving her in the elevator. Because no one's gonna stay in the elevator anyway. She might be useful. And I don't know what she can do. Like there's like I don't think there's a I don't really see a reason why she should just come along. Also, like in terms of character, fuck yeah, he doesn't want to leave his kid behind. So, all right, Mika, stay close to me.
Yeah, I
Don't
mean,
leave my side.
yeah, I mean, you don't know, like, if 15 past is just entering into hell itself,
Right.
you're not even sure if there's, the same way back you came up.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, we're doing that. Stay close to your old man.
And you see, similar to your vision you had of that the stranger bestowed on you in the parking garage, she like gets on your back, and it just has her hands around your neck and is just in sort of a piggyback type position.
Adorable.
Works for me. Oh, wait, okay. Does that have any like out of character? Does that have any negative effect on like movement or something? Or is she light enough that it doesn't really matter?
It's weird. As you get closer to floor 15, it feels less like a person is on your back
Mm.
and more like just this warm presence. Like,
Okay, so the connection's weaker. Okay.
as if like, there's like when you hug someone, right? There's like the physical act, but there's also like the emotional sensation of being hugged.
Yeah.
It's like just the emotional sensation that remains. This feeling like you're being hugged, but no physical presence to back it up.
Right. Understood. Well, as we're going up towards the 15th floor, I guess Kaji will just be like, Mika, I know you said you wanted to come along, but if at any point something severs this connection, please don't fight it. Just let go. I don't want you suffering any more than you already have.
Okay.
If you need to leave, do so. Your old man will be fine. Probably.
She tightens her grip on you a little bit. And after a few moments, the elevator doors open. And you're hit with this blast of hot air. Like you've entered into this immensely hot space. You see this, like, series of tunnels opening up before you, less resembling an apartment complex and more like the inside of some great beast. You see, like, the sides of the walls are lined with these skeletal, almost rib cage like bones, and the tunnel walls seem to shimmer and morph and glisten in this sort of disgusting, quasi-illusory but also very tangibly flesh hallway that unfolds before you. This is what you all see.
Oh.
What
Yuck.
the heck?
This is
Wanna
like that one
know.
episode of The Boys.
If that's from the new season, I haven't seen it yet.
No, this is, you've definitely seen this.
Oh, is it like
Vinny
a man type of guy?
Yeah, it's
But yeah, you guys feel hot. Almost as if you're maybe on like a summer's day or like close to a desert of some kind, and it's moist in here and it smells rancid, disgusting. In many
Is
ways,
it like dry heat?
no, it's very moist, like disgusting
like
heat.
Oh.
You see the walls like pulsate, as if you are inside of some living thing. And that honor guard member emerges from one of the corridors near you, which calling a corridor might be generous. It's like a flesh pathway. They cut their way through the flesh and emerge near where you are. And says, "Fear not, chatterlings. This is merely the realm of the Demon King.
What is he calling us?
Battlings.
Chatterlings. This is
Oh,
very-
I was like,
Hey
Why is
chat.
he call-
Hey chat.
Hey, chat.
chat. I'm cooked. I'm so cooked. Chat. Chat. Is this Riz? All right. I was hearing like chitlins. I'm like, why is he calling us? All right, understood.
This is merely the tunnels of the demon god of the Cliffa, Adramalek. Steel yourselves against illusion and domination, and you shall emerge the other side of these tunnels stronger than you entered them.
Oh boy.
He motions with this huge axe to tell you guys, like, go forward. He's essentially,
We're the vanguard, you know.
yeah, essentially,
Yeah.
You gotta go.
essentially find all the
We
hazards
are
and
the
traps
cannon
for us.
fodder.
Yeah, the cannon fodder is a good word.
That's great.
I mean, this would probably be a good time to have like good perception or like investigation, right? Does anybody have either of those things?
No.
I should.
Oh, I mean, I have a
check.
+2 to perception, but
Are you proficient? I think
Uh,
Benji has good perception.
the gray dot is proficient, right?
I'm okay.
It should be.
Next to
I
the.
Where's
had-
investigation?
I have what do you do?
Where is investigation?
Wait,
Yeah, I don't see
investigation
it on-
or are we
Oh, there's no. It's not investigation, I guess.
perception? Yeah.
Yeah, for some-
Research?
It's been a while since I've looked at. I guess it's probably just perception then.
I'm plus. What's
In
proficient mean?
terms of
Plus
like
2?
noticing threats.
Plus your proficiency bonus.
It's plus 1d4 in this case
Oh,
for us.
okay.
What do you do?
I'm proficient in perception, but there's no like I don't have a
Yeah,
flat bonus to it.
I think Benji has a positive bonus
proficient.
and proficiency, right? Right, Caleb? Oh, are you muted, Caleb?
He's Discord muted.
Say nothing if you
Oh yeah,
hate
yeah,
us.
you're muted.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I have +3 to my perception,
And are you proficient as well?
and I am proficient as well.
Whoa! Crazy guy.
Roll that shit up.
Roll that shit up.
Roll that shit up.
Benji's already seen hell, man.
Benji's back.
Damn!
That's science
Wow.
check too.
I was like,
Yeah, the double 20s, dude.
What is scientifically going on here?
We're in a
very good. It's
massive penis.
So, with a 20, you see these halls seem to wind almost infinitely into this light in the distance, pulsing with some heartbeat-like rhythm covered in these fleshy tendrils that move, flowing to some unseen rhythm. And there seems to be some sort of noise that's coming from the cavernous tunnel ahead of you, but it's very faint. The 20, you can't discern what it is, just that it might be a wind, perhaps a whistling sound of wind coming through this corridor. And the walls, with a 20, the walls appear to shimmer and morph in this almost like, it's almost like a psychedelic effect. Like there are textures that are morphing into each other and forming new ones, like fractals upon fractals that you can just keep looking at over and over again. There seems to be an infinite amount of detail to the fleshy fixtures on these walls that could draw you in. And I'll have you make a sanity save.
oh,
Is that all of us?
Just Benji, because he's examining this area thoroughly.
Nice.
Okay.
Well, I've seen people's insides. They're just like this.
Yeah, you see
Incredible.
these like sides of this chamber are twisting and transforming constantly. They're dancing, they're swaying in some sort of hypnotizing rhythm. And you sort of have to steel yourself and not look at them in order for it to abide. So you gather, if you take time and really look at your the sides of this flesh wall, may not be to your best interest.
Good to know. Yeah, you basically. He's wearing eyes. Take them off usually. Stares at the wall.
Now your mic's cutting out.
Yeah,
Caleb.
I did not understand that.
He's wearing sunglasses. He takes them off to look at the wall, and then he turns back towards everybody shortly thereafter and goes, "Don't anybody look at that." And puts the sunglasses back on. Keep your head downish. Don't pay attention to anything for too. Is that better?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can hear that.
Much more clear.
Sorry, I should have done it.
Also, are we meant to go back to the honor guard if we found anything, or are they kind of sticking behind us and following us to some extent?
They're following you. They're
Okay.
probably like just 10 feet behind you.
All right, I guess we you guys want to press onward?
Yep.
Is it just like a single corridor for the time being that we're meant to go down? Okay.
Yeah, it looks like a central vein that you all are following along. And like I said, there is this light towards the edge of it. Who's going first?
Remy is not going first. Shocker.
There's it's wide enough for 3 or 4 of you to fit side by side. So
Then
because
Benji's-
I would definitely, yeah, I'd accompany Benji for sure. Luca would be up there. Quaid would probably be up there as well.
yeah.
Yeah, after that sanity check, I think I'm actually doing okay. I kind of like lock back into like the military training that I have.
Most memory, baby.
Took a long ass fucking.
Okay. So the 3 of you lead the vanguard, inching slowly down this pulsating hallway. And as you make your way further, you begin to hear these like faint whispers that are coming from the wall. You hear the whisper of the man from your training, Luca. You're just here because you slept your way to the top.
Ooh.
You mean nothing. You're not going to make it far in the army. Another whisper that comes through. He killed those children. All those men. They're as guilty as anyone else. That was a massacre. A bloody massacre. That voice fades. And you don't hear the other voice because it's meant for Quaid. But the 3 of you start to feel a little shaken by this. But you keep pressing onwards. But as you do, these voices begin to grow louder, and you all begin to hear them. These faint voices that are tugging at your darkest moments that we established last session. He abandoned his family. We hear to you, Nicholas.
Oh.
He abandoned them. He left them because it was his choice. He could have stayed with them if he wanted to.
Bless you.
That voice fades.
Cough.
Another voice comes in, and it's Layla Al-Hazred's voice. You left me for dead, Thaddeus. You left me for dead. And as all of these voices are swirling into this like unholy cacophony, this choir of just negative thoughts and emotions, I'll have everyone make a reflex save.
Casting like dissonant whispers on us or some shit. What's going on? A reflex save. Where's reflex? Oh, Remy.
Oh.
Damn, Thaddeus.
Nicholas took that one for me. Sheesh, holy shit.
Yeah,
Wait, what is it?
Let's
Reflex?
go.
Oh,
It's
it's up here.
reflex.
Nicholas, once he hears the whispers, just freezes in place. That's what happens.
Cool. So this might get
Cool, he said.
this might get a little
Deadly?
this might get a little confusing, but I'm going to try to narrate this as clearly as possible. For Nicholas, Benji, Remy, and Luca,
Oh my god.
all of you press on as though nothing has happened.
Huh?
Oh, no.
Thaddeus and Kaji. Actually, I'm gonna roll for a few other people as well.
Uh-oh.
Wait, who? Wait, so everybody
We all
but
failed except
you?
for Thaddeus and Kaji.
Yeah, so the people who failed, we press on like nothing happened.
Correct.
We're about to hear the other flip side of that, which is what if somebody passed the save? Like maybe they're more keen on something than we are.
Or gets like special powers forever.
Or lose several levels.
Thaddeus and Kaji,
You gain 5
you see
levels of exhaustion.
you see that you two alone are in this hallway.
Oh, what the
Whoa.
fuck?
Like we can't see anyone else, or like
It seems as though you've like maybe gone on a different path than them. You've lost track of everyone you were with. It's just you two.
Oh god, was it like a
wait, hang on.
dividing check?
Is there, is the honor guard not with us either?
No.
Did the honor guard follow us in, or were they more like, oh,
They're
you guys go in
behind
and we'll
you.
follow you?
They were only like, they were following pretty close by.
Okay.
So we're gonna start with Thaddeus and Kaji for this point of the narration.
This is like the cave all over again.
Yeah, it's very similar.
Some barefoot running on wet stone.
That shit was terrible. I remember that. I had to turn my light on for that. That was terrible.
Both of you feel the immense power of this heat and moisture surrounding you. It's covering you like a thick, suffocating blanket. And both of you hear this voice echoing from further down the hall. This flesh is the bridal chamber of darkness. You will be awakened to her coiling spirit. As the walls begin to shift and change. And you gather, if Benji had not warned you, you'd probably have to make a save at this point to avoid this psychedelic exploration that's unfolding around you.
Okay.
But you feel like you're being watched from countless unseen eyes.
Thaddeus? Kaji says, looking straight ahead and nothing else. Do me a favor. Don't get lost.
Thaddeus is gonna, like, grab his arm just to make sure he's real. And, like, hold him.
Okay.
And, like, hold him. 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 And, and then he'll release it. Like, oh, just gotta make sure I'm not losing it in here yet.
You see what the hell happened to everyone else?
I turned around, they were gone. I started to hallucinate, and Thaddeus is gonna turn and say, "It's best to stay as cool as we can in here. We don't want to lose our wits due to this heat and humidity." And he's going to like wipe his head with the canvas cloth and hand it to Kaji, just like real quick.
The most useful cloth ever.
Yeah.
To like dab off the sweat.
Yeah, I'll accept.
It's an honor. You can't refuse.
That's true.
Yet another use for this canvas cloth.
Is Mika still on my back?
She is. She says, Daddy, where did they go? What happened?
I'm really not sure. I guess we'll have to find out one way or another. Is the has the hall closed behind us, or is there just like two directions that we keep going?
There are paths that branch off from the main hallway, but behind you, you still see the elevator doors, and ahead of you, you see this hallway extending far into the light, like the concept art.
Okay.
I'd like to, if you want me to make a check, that's fine, but I'd like to use my spatial awareness to see if I detect like any abnormalities in this setting.
So
Just because we're in a strange spot that we're disoriented, we don't have our senses about us, and he's just gonna try to gather any info he can right now.
That's very good.
Smart.
You see, I'm very glad you used this. This is going to tell you a lot.
Based.
You detect the spatial axes of this area are altered fivefold. You see from this center hallway you're going down, there are 5 alternate dimensional paths that branch off of this main one, like a pentagram, each going off into their own dark demiplanes. And for just a brief moment, you can sense that there are presences on each of these false paths that are very closely aligned to this main one. You gather this entire hall is a gauntlet of deception.
Oh, shit. Oh.
What'd you see, Thaddeus?
This hallway is full of illusions and trickery. If we go down the wrong path, it's guaranteed to be perilous. Not sure what happened to the rest of the group. I don't even know if it's... I don't know. They could be down one of those other paths. I don't know what's down the one in the middle, but certainly the ones on the sides are full of peril.
Well, you seem to be pretty attuned to these things, so lead the way. I'll be right behind you.
All right, we'll stay close.
I'll even like put like one hand like on his shoulder as we walk, just so that he knows.
Okay. We cut to Luca. You're leading your squad
So
and your
interesting.
allies down the this hallway, and Quaid turns to you. Where are we going? What is this light ahead of us?
Turns around, or I guess we're kind of walking side by side, so turns towards him. Our objective and I feel like at this point she kind of like turns. You can't like quite place who we're missing at this time, but like they're missing, right? Like they're just not with us anymore.
No.
And
You
and
see-
still
you see-
seeing the honor guard in the back.
You see Kaji, you see Thaddeus, you see Honor Guard, you see Cain.
Oh,
Huh?
okay.
That's
so every.
Fuck.
Wait. So what?
So
We always
So
because
it's
them.
playing
because you
tricks
didn't-
on us.
because
Yeah.
you didn't pass the illusion check or whatever. She
Oh,
still thinks
it's
that we're still there.
illusion, Yeah. Ah,
Mhm.
I got it.
Oh, and the music kicked in.
So yeah, just check
Perfect
back.
time.
See if the honor guard are still trailing behind.
Yep, they're all still following you.
We need to press forward towards our objective.
If we don't reach the light, we're fucked. We need to make it.
Damn right we do. Double time, everyone. Kind of like motions to like pick up the pace more into like a jog or a trot.
Everyone begins to double time it, and you begin to head down this hallway. But it seems to stretch on infinitely ahead of you. Like the farther you run, the farther it's extending like an accordion into the distance. And Quaid is like, we're not gonna make it. This all will have been for nothing.
He's panicking.
Why don't you roll a sanity check for me, Luca?
Oh. Shit.
Oh god, I
shit.
don't think I've passed a single sanity check as Luca. Dubious.
Okay. You're gonna take 3 psychic damage as you see, looking behind you, almost in an instant, all of the members of your party have been partially absorbed by the flesh walls and are being pulled away from you. You see the honor guard and Cain are nowhere to be found. And in this moment, you start to lose your composure. You look behind you, you see this wall of darkness that seems to be coming, drawing closer to you, like an oblivion that's slowly devouring this internal cavern. And ahead of you, you see the light. But you hear the screams of your men as they're devoured by these flesh beasts, these tendrils that extend from the wall. And you see Kaji being devoured. You see Thaddeus being devoured. You see Nicholas being devoured. What do? Do you try to save them? Do you try to run towards the light? Do you try to run towards the darkness?
So yeah, do I see like Quaid getting sucked in by this wall right now? Like just run up to him, like sling the rifle over my shoulder and just start like clawing at the ground, or maybe even just taking like the karambit knives that she has and like trying to like cut it open to free Quaid and pull him away from this.
Yeah, why don't you roll? I'll be rolling an athletics check to try to wrestle him free.
Athletics. Also 13.
Sort of like trying to move your limbs in a dream or a nightmare. You're just trying to get the knife to strike, but it never does. And you see part of his skull is caved in. You see blood starting to course down the side of his face as his body is just ripped to shreds against the side of this cave wall. You hear the screams of your companions as well as they are slowly devoured. And you start to see peacock feathers drifting in the wind of this hallway. What do?
So it's looking like I can't save any of them.
It's starting
Here.
to look like this mission was a complete failure.
Oh shit. Oh.
Fuck, I'm sorry. I have to try. I have to try. And Lucas sprints away towards the light.
This is crazy.
Yo.
She starts to run.
This is crazy.
Your legs just becoming a blur of motion beneath your feet. As we cut to Nicholas.
Oh.
Tyler, you've
The
outdone
whole-
yourself. This is terrifying.
Start firing crossbow bolts. Nicholas, you're moving with the group. You see Luca turns around and she's like, "Stop. 1 second. There's movement ahead." And you look forward and see silhouettes against the light. Looks like people are standing at the very edge of this flesh hall, not 20, 30 feet ahead of you.
Do they look familiar? I have an inkling of who they might be.
Roll a perception check.
Oh, goodness gracious.
You're gonna do great. Mid.
Okay. I'm just gonna say this. There's one looks like average human height and two that look smaller.
I'll start like if Luca's in front of me, she holds up the typical like hand at 90-90 with the fist clenched. I'm just gonna keep walking and like push her hand out of the way, and just keep walking forward, like, and then speed up my cadence a tiny bit.
Yeah, you speed up your cadence and begin to walk forward. And as our camera shifts, it's like following you, and it goes in front of you as you come to this revelation, and we see that behind you in this wall, there's no one. It's just you. And you arrive at these three figures. And you see the pale face of your wife, the pale face of your two children. Each of them have their hands extended, and they're holding each other's hands, and there are just like tendrils of flesh that are connecting them to this wall, to this giant vein around you, and they pulse with the same beat that this flesh pulses to. And out of your mouth, your wife's mouth, this snake begins to slowly inch its way out towards you. Make a sanity check.
Oh God!
Damn, boy.
This thing my
What
skin
the
crawl, bro. What the fuck?
Oh.
Okay.
Let's go.
Nice save.
You manage to steel yourself against this horrific image. Perhaps you realize that some part of this can't be real. But you gather this version of your family has been absorbed completely by this monstrous tunnel and is gone. You see the light in the distance ahead of you and this wall of darkness that seems to be rushing up behind you. Which do you flee to?
And again, rush. There's a wall behind me.
There's a wall of darkness like an oblivion descending. And with it, you see like these flesh walls and these ringlets of bone are just disappearing into darkness. And ahead of you, you see this light.
Yeah, I guess I go to light, man.
Okay. You begin running. You see the walls around you are distorting with every single step. And we cut to Remy.
Oh shit.
And you see this this hallway of flesh seems to end, and then this floor of like a clinical hospital starts.
Uh-oh.
You see like nurses rushing past, you see doctors rushing past, patients on stretchers, and it appears as though you've somehow walked into a circa 2014 hospital in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
You look behind you, and you see you're alone, and that all the flesh walls have been replaced by clinical white walls.
What do you mean by clinical white walls? Like crazy room white walls,
No,
or like
no, like a
hallways in like hospital?
Hospital.
Just
Yeah,
a
just
hospital
a
hallway.
sterile
Yeah.
hospital walls.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I start trying to see where all the patients are going to see if I can aid anyone.
Okay. You begin to rush over into one of these rooms, and very much like nightmares, you see everyone in this room doesn't have a face. And you see one of the figures in a nurse's uniform turns to you, just nothing in her visage. And she says, Dr. Crenshaw, we need your evaluation. Our patient is unwell. Very unwell.
Do I look past her and see the patient? I think Remy's already a little like off put by this, but he's before he answers, he looks at the like who's behind on like the table or in the room.
You head over. There's a curtain that's separating you from the patient. You go over. The patient is turned on their side. So you go to touch the patient's shoulder and turn him over. And you see the patient bears your face. Roll a sanity check.
8.
You're going to take 2 psychic damage as you start to have these dark thoughts. Maybe you're the one that's so racked with trauma and insanity that you'll never be able to help those you want to. Maybe you're the patient you should be focusing on, and not these people you're trying to help. And you start to back up.
Preach, Tyler.
The wall and the floors feeling like liquid against your feet, like you can sink into them. And you see from the hallway, all of these sterile light fixtures begin to flicker until they turn to darkness. And outside this window of this medical office, this treatment room, is just this bright white light, brighter than the sun, that seems to beckon you. Do you rush towards this window or head back into this darkness in the hallway?
I would say Remy. He like falls to his knees on this hallway as like the darkness starts to like basically shut off all the lights and like creeps closer towards him. But I think in this moment he's sort of like he's still under the effects of whatever illusion this is, but he sort of gains a moment of clarity, and he remembers that he is possessed by, or he is the embodiment of what's the demon's name?
Togarini.
Yeah, Togarini. He's like, right, this is who I am, and he gets engulfed by the blackness in the hallway.
Oh shit.
That's crazy.
I had a feeling you were gonna do that.
Okay, I'm gonna write this down because this is gonna be a different outcome. Okay. We finally cut to Benji, who I believe is the last one that failed the saves here.
Yeah.
So we, oh, let me re-up the music here. I need this creepy music.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Get that skin.
We begin to head down this hallway. We've seen it a few times now. You recognize it. This tunnel of pulsing flesh before you. And we begin to see these shadows emerge at the periphery. Dozens of them. Hundreds of them. You look beside you as Luca and her men just start to go into firing positions. They turn, their rifles extended outwards, and just begin to fire at these dark figures that are assailing you like shadows. It is 30, maybe 40 seconds of continual fire, just this bullets ricocheting, hot lead being spewed everywhere until it is followed by silence. And going to investigate. You see, obscured by the shadows, now lit up by the light of your flashlight you have on your weapon, your crossbow. You see the faces of innocent civilians. You see Afghan women and children. You see death that is familiar to you. Why don't you give me a sanity check?
Sure.
Nice.
Sauce.
Nice.
You pass. But you find yourself now not in a hall of flesh with this carnage around you. You find yourself on a stage. You see a podium next to you and this large American flag in the background of our camera. You see crowds and crowds of faceless onlookers all cheering as this faceless figure in a uniform awards a 7th medal on your uniform, then puts an 8th on, and a 9th, and a 10th. A voice just calls out these endless titles and recognitions that you've gained from these wars you've never heard of. And this raucous applause and laughter just grows louder and louder and louder. You can see over by the bleachers this sea of darkness that begins to envelop this crowd. And in the distance, this bright light beginning to envelop the field where you find yourself standing for your ceremony. What do you do?
So I'm like on a podium, or like on a stage of sorts, you said?
Yeah.
And the darkness is in front of me or behind me?
In front of you.
And in front of me is also a fleet of people cheering for me?
Yeah.
Whoa, Benji!
Yes.
We
exactly.
love you!
I don't think he would be going towards the light, but he would be trying to figure out any way to get to the darkness without having to like really run through a giant swath of people.
You see the members of this crowd, like it's moving towards you almost like this wave of blackness. And as it does so, these figures in these bleachers are just swept away like a current. And if you do absolutely nothing, this sea of darkness will overcome you in time with no effort at all.
Before it gets there, and I don't know if I'll be capable of it due to whatever restrictions, but I am just going to surround myself. If it'll click on the thing that I'm clicking. In a black smog. Well, it can't get me if I'm already in it. It really does not want me to be able to. For some reason.
Okay, well, we'll say, I know what you're casting, so we'll say you cast it.
Simple, but not.
And we see it just this large wave comes and crashes over the crowd and sweeps you up in it.
Finally popped. Perfect.
And with that, we cut back to Thaddeus and Kaji. You both begin to move down this hallway of flesh, and you see ahead of you what looks like a stone dais covered in blood.
Is this meta? Are we? Is it a D20?
Here you go. This is what it looks like.
Oh, that. Okay.
Yeah, not a dice.
Okay.
You see a stone D20
A
ahead of
stone dice.
Understood. Okay. Is there like an inscription on it or anything that I could see? Can I perception check something?
you. Yeah, no check needed.
Oh, okay.
You see written along its base are the words, "What is truth and what is lie?"
Bluff.
Bluff equals lies.
Wait, explain to me what this is. I'm not smart.
Yeah, it's basically like a stone
Altar or
structure.
something?
Yeah, it's like an altar. I think that's a good way to put it.
Does it? Hang on, I gotta. Oh, okay. So does it look like something's supposed to be like sitting on top of it?
That's right. It looks like something is supposed to be offered to it in a weird way, like it's some sort of altar meant for like a religious purpose.
Okay.
A pound of flesh for
A pound of
That's-
flesh.
Oh dear. I don't know, Thaddeus. What do you think?
Can we inspect? Is there? It's just. This is in the middle of the room though, or is this like at the end of like the corridor?
This is in the middle of the corridor.
Looks like they killed something here.
Is the light beyond it? Like, is there anything blocking our way?
No, it's just this fixture in the center of the hallway, but you can choose to ignore it if you want. It's not stopping you from
Are there
moving.
any writings or symbols on this altar of any sort?
Besides, what did it say? What is truth and what is lie?
It said, "What is truth and what is lie?" And it's just covered in blood.
Maybe you'll get something cool if you solve it. Damn you, Tyler. Optional content. It's always the most enticing.
Press X
I've
to
no-
skip cutscene.
I have nothing to offer though. I mean, I could. Do I have my knife on me?
Maybe it has to do with like the nature of this dungeon, right? Because like deception's kind of been a theme
Yeah.
already.
Yeah. All right. As a little test, Kaji will take his knife out and just like prick his thumb, and just like place it onto the altar, or whatever it's called.
Oh shit!
Just
Damn,
to
you
see
crazy,
what
bro.
happens.
Okay. So you prick your thumb and place it on the altar. And you feel weight on your shoulders.
That's different from Mika's weight?
It's the weight that should have been there.
Oh.
And as more blood courses into the cracks of the stone,
Oh, no way. Are you summoning?
she feels heavier
Uh,
and heavier.
oh. Uh-oh.
What the fuck did I just do?
Did you just sell your soul to bring your daughter?
Daughter summon spell.
Maybe it's
Do you
just
feel
like
any
an
different? Do you feel
exchange.
stronger or something? Or...
Do I
It feels
feel
heavier?
do I
Yeah,
feel
does he-
anything, or is it just Mika
Because
like getting heavier?
Just Mika.
Woo, let's go! Now we have a child.
You're gonna take
Down
you're
here.
gonna take 1 point of damage though as you
That's fine.
cut yourself.
yeah, because you said you only feel the emotional weight of the hug.
That's right. That's
Mika.
right.
Now it's heavier.
All right. Well, I'll turn around and look at her. What do I see? Solid 15 HP. Awesome.
You see her eyes no longer appear as orbs.
Do I see this too?
Don't,
Dude, you could be bringing her back to life.
Mika.
Dude, but like you can't just get that for free, dog. What did you just sell?
Mika.
Well, blood.
What's happening to you?
I don't know. All of a sudden I feel heavy. Heavy. She seems lost in thought.
I don't want to get my hopes up. We're literally in the Dungeon of Deception.
Oh, really?
Do you feel weak or what?
I don't know. I don't know if I like it. What's happening?
Stay close to me. We're gonna continue onwards. Thaddeus, unless you want to attempt the same thing, I suggest we keep moving.
Maybe you should. I'm curious if like
Maybe he should.
I'm curious if like putting your blood on it is what kind of starts the
Can I make an insight check
starts the
into
riddle, right?
Yeah.
Against
into
what?
Kaji's daughter? Kaji's daughter, just to see what I can glean from her right now.
Yeah, make an insight check.
Do I have inspiration? Oh, I was gonna say you could use it, but
Oh,
don't
I was
bother.
also gonna use inspiration on that. That's good.
Very subtle. Perhaps Kaji didn't pick up on it because he's so emotional right now. There is an edge to her voice that wasn't there before. An edge that seems slightly reminiscent of that prior voice you heard in the hall, talking of redemption.
Wait, which one? Which one was talking of redemption? Did I hear this voice or just Thaddeus?
You guys both heard it when you first, saved against the illusory powers of this hallway.
Wait, what did it say? I already can't. What the? My memory's so bad.
I think Thaddeus just kind of has his like a knife in his hand, like ready to like maybe slice his hand, and he just folds his hand and puts it away. He's like, "Yeah, I think we should continue on."
Damn.
Damn.
Oh shit.
So wait,
is she the lie?
well, this is
I
why.
don't know,
This
like
is why.
maybe the blood is just to you know, like activate this thing's effect.
What happens
right?
if her blood goes?
Maybe
on
maybe the
altar?
question isn't like, oh, what is truth and what is lie? Put the right item, like put the answer to this riddle on the altar. Maybe that question needs to be answered once you use the altar.
All right, hear me out. Cain, Abel, biblical figures. Right after the line, Abraham has to sacrifice his son, or so he thinks. Maybe you're supposed to sacrifice what you think is your daughter, and then an angel will stop you right before.
Oh, dude.
Well, you
No.
Thaddeus heard like an edge to the voice, right? Like to her voice. Like it doesn't sound like she sounded prior. So like maybe it's not fully her, or is something deceiving, or
Yeah, like what kind of edge? Is it like she sounds
I'll be rolling
Like
a cult lore check, Thaddeus. And if you get above a 20, something will be revealed.
Yeah, you could use my inspiration if you want. Oh my god!
Oh shit!
Oh my god!
Keep it.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
yeesh.
You actually recognize some of the motifs of this altar as being indicative of this ancient god called Adramelech. You actually heard this mentioned by Cain's honor guard. They said this was the hall of the Peacock King, Adramelech. But now it puts it into historical perspective. He was a sun god similar to Moloch, and he was worshipped in the Assyrian town of Sepharvaim. And you know that his cult included human sacrifice, often the sacrifice of children, and the burning of offerings, often on stone daises. So it may not answer this question directly, but it just provides some context to what you're seeing.
Can you put his name in the chat quick?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Adramelech.
I'm not gonna say anything because I was looking him up, but a lot of stuff is making sense reading some Wikipedia.
What do I have
He's
on
cheating.
me? What kind of offerings?
Yep, I'm seeing one interesting tidbit about Andromelech's physical appearance that has already shown itself. That's fun.
What kind of offerings that is? Do you know?
I can't make out the specifics more than that, but the followers of his cult may have made many offerings and sacrifices here on this table, or this altar, excuse me.
Well, I'm not really. I'm not gonna sacrifice my daughter here.
Coward.
Yes. Can you blame him? But he did say burn offerings, so what if I
Burn my daughter?
oh, wow. Alright, Tyler. Kaji is going to pull out his PI license, which has held significance to him as the one thing that he's been like going towards ever since his family died. He's gonna place it on the altar and then he's gonna fire of renewal burn it.
Oh.
Hey, yo.
Okay. Are you going to burn it before putting it on the altar?
No, I'm gonna put it on the altar and then burn it.
Okay. You cast fire onto your PI license, and it burns. And the flame begins to turn this purple reddish hue, and then it snaps out. And you see in its place a bar of gold.
Aw.
Huh? Is there any just like a straight gold bar?
Yeah.
It's a surprise tool that'll help us later. All right, I'll pick up the gold bar.
Okay.
Is there any like inscription on it or anything, or just like straight up gold?
It does look to have inscriptions on it. And
Just can't read it.
if Thaddeus were to look at it, it looks to be similar to minted Assyrian coins. It has the inscription of like an Assyrian king on the side of it.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of diamond symbology. It actually brings your mind back to the weird things you encountered outside of the tower, those diamonds.
I guess I can remove this from my inventory now. How do I do that? Oh,
I'm gonna take out the lamp of Constantine just because it doesn't require any fuel and it sheds a bright light through a zone and dim light through an additional zone. So I'm just gonna keep that out as my main source of light.
Your
I can
light
reduce
source.
it to a 5-foot radius if I want to cup it. Yeah. But I don't get any reaction from like the altar Kaji's daughter, right? There's nothing happens.
Do you flash the light?
Yeah, I mean, I'm keeping it out. If I might,
do
I
it.
mean, walking around, a flash might go in her direction or the altars. Yeah.
You see, as soon as the flash hits, her eyes appear to be shut and pale, and the upper half of her head appears to be this pale skin, unlike her regular skin, and peacock feathers appear to be growing out and upwards.
God.
oh hell no. Okay.
Hell no, brother.
But it disappears in an instant because it's just this
Yeah.
flash, and then she just goes back to normal.
It is.
Does
a
Kaji see
normal
this too, or does just Thaddeus see this?
I assume
Um,
if you see this, you tell me.
Yeah, I mean, just you see in this moment, but you could certainly make him aware. Or maybe you don't.
No, I'm gonna Kaji. I think I don't know if you want to take that piece of gold. Let me just inspect it with this light first. Can I shine it over the bar of gold in front of him? Or I'm gonna do that if anything happens first, and then I will shine it
Yeah. You,
on her too.
you do whatever. Go ahead, Thaddeus.
As soon as you expose the bar of gold to the light, it turns to ashes.
Oh. Interesting.
I
So
think
did you just
like,
give up your PI
immediately,
lenses for nothing?
immediately after it turns to ashes, I just like fully shine it, like not even trying to hide, just like right on his daughter.
Oh.
Holy shit.
Oh god.
Oh, that'd be a fucking sick metaphor dealio going on here.
He turns. This is going to be insane because he has not told you the nature of this light and how it interacts, as well as
No.
what he saw previously with his daughter.
No.
Mika begins to shriek as you
Oh
see
no.
from her eyes that light that you had previously seen that was like this docile, pale light that was emanating from her eyes becomes white flame that juts out like two plumes of fire that exit her skull. And you see the upper half of her head just becomes enveloped in white flame, and she is shrieking in pain.
Yo, that was a crazy,
What the fuck?
wild. Wait, how is Kaji gonna react to this though?
Yeah, how do you react, dude?
Like,
He's literally
because he's
killing
like-
your
he was-
daughter.
He's
no
like
pun
in
intended,
shock.
he was blindsided by this. Like, it was just like it moved the interrogator lamp, and then like showed it
Thaddeus,
on.
what the fuck? What is that lamp?
I'll cup it to reduce the light. Was I don't know if Jose was there, but was Kaji there during the last session with
Yeah.
the when he used the lamp to banish?
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, I think he just doesn't know what's happening. That's all.
So I'm gonna cup the light to reduce it. This is the lamp of Constantine, a legendary artifact.
What are you speaking
Shedding
like?
radiant light.
It's like one of those like museum
Wait.
audio walkthroughs that like you
Yeah,
can, like press
what?
the number at each
Just
stop.
gonna
Say,
make
restart
contact
the
with-
dialogue. Can you say that exactly like you did before, please? Thank you.
My Uber Eats driver
It's
is
okay.
canceled. Awesome.
Kaji. This is the lamp of Constantine. It's a legendary artifact shedding radiant light.
What the hell does it do?
Well, one thing it's said to do is possess the power to destroy demons and other creatures of the night with its holy light. And in my experience, I have in fact seen it do just that. I think this altar is a cursed place bearing terrible, unholy things, and I'm just gonna, and then Dash is just gonna keep his eye contact with Kaji. We both know that this tunnel is full of illusions and deception, so we can't just rely on our sight one senses. Kaji, we both know something isn't right here.
Yeah. Kaji, all right, hang on. Let me do this real quick.
Kill your daughter, bro.
Let's see how.
Yeah,
smart.
he literally fucking looked like
Oh,
you burned your
damn.
daughter alive.
Okay, well, I was gonna say if I rolled a 10 or lower, then he'd like retaliate, but he rolled pretty high, so. Kaji's gonna harden his face and just looks dead up at Thaddeus, be like, do it.
Damn.
You see him crying.
Holy
you see him
shit.
crying as he
You
says,
see,
do it.
you see Kaji look up at you, like tears running down his face, because he knows that you're right, but he doesn't want to give up his daughter.
Damn. Yo,
Bros
that's metal
before
as fuck.
ghosts. Bros
Um,
before ghosts.
Demonic.
Okay, how can I
I gotta leave in 4 minutes, so you gotta do it quick.
can I banish her to the flash zone? Is that possible, or was that because of the situation I was in?
I would say just keep shining the light, just to see what happens.
Yeah, okay. I guess I'll start with
Just
that. I will
uncup the light.
I'll uncup it and just shine the light of the lamp of Constantine across her entirety.
You see her visage begins to burn and burn in this bright white light.
Thanks, Vinny, for that.
Yeah, this is perfect.
is that POV? POV, you're Kaji's daughter.
I missed it.
Looks like
Wait. Oh, there it is.
It's like the I give you this and you receive. I give you light.
It's too accurate. Oh my god.
Alright, I don't want to rush anyone, but I gotta go like in 3 minutes now.
The one thing you see in this moment is a flap of a cape coming from this figure that's now scorched in white flame. And a hand reaches out and tries to grab the lamp from you. And in this moment, you see this figure with 2 shut eyes, pale skin, and this third eye that's open like an emerald coming from his forehead.
Holy shit.
And he says, "What do you know of truth and lies?" And that's where we'll leave off.
Oh, there he is.
Holy fuck!
There he is.
And that's where
Yeah.
we'll leave off.
Yo.
Reveal yourself, deceiver.